Hello, and thanks for joining the FrostySith channel today. We're out here on a little morning ruck in the heartland. But later today, we're going to be making a recipe that's real simple, has 3 ingredients. It's on the sweeter side of things, probably considered a dessert in your backcountry recipe option. It's a cacao chocolate fat bomb. We're going to dive into the recipe, prepare the product, show you what the final product can look like, and then review the nutritional information. That's coming up next. If you're new to the channel, take a minute, hit the subscribe button, or even if you're not new to the channel but haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and make sure to click the bell so that you get notifications when new content is updated each week. All right, let's dive into the recipe. Okay, let's get started with this recipe. There are several things that you're going to need, mostly the commonly found items that you have in your kitchen, but you'll definitely need a weight scale for measuring out ingredients. You're going to have some utensils for stirring. You're going to need a 2-cup measurement device that is good for pouring liquids. And let's see, you're also going to need some sort of tray or plate and some molds for the fat bombs. You don't have to have silicone molds. You can use just an ice tray that you have in your house. So there are 3 primary ingredients to this recipe, and they are the cacao butter, organic cacao powder, and a sweetener like monk fruit, or you could use swerve. Now I've already weighed out the ingredients, and the cacao butter, we have 224 grams of cacao butter, which should be about 1 cup when it's melted, liquid form. We also have 30 grams of the organic cacao powder, and 96 grams, in this case I just finished off the bag, it was 100 grams of sweetener. Monk fruit is what we're using here. And what we're going to do is melt the cacao butter, add the cacao powder and the sweetener, stir it till it's all dissolved, and then we're going to fill up our trays. So let me pop into the kitchen and melt that stuff and get it stirred up. I'll be back. And I'll put links, Amazon links to all these products down in the description. So this is the cacao butter, and it's fully melted, and that took about 4 different blasts in the microwave for 45 seconds, and just each time took the spoon and started chunking the product up and making it smaller and smaller until it's totally clear and everything's completely melted. The next thing that we're going to add is the sweetener, and in this case the monk fruit, and I'll put a description, again a link to the Amazon to get this. And in the avocado chocolate chunk recipe that I'll put a link in the video as well at the top, I had mentioned in that video that the last time I bought monk fruit, which I bought at a local health food store, it was $22 a pound, and you can now, at the time of this video, get it on Amazon for about $11, $10.99. So check that out. And we're adding the sweetener first just because it's granular and want to make sure it gets fully dissolved. Okay, now we're going to add the cacao powder. Okay, so now we are going to bring out the tray, and I've already sprinkled a little bit of sea salt into the bottom of each tray because I think it adds something for the chocolate. Okay, now we're going to go pop these in the freezer for a little bit, and then I'll bring them back and show you the final product. Alright, so that's what we ended up with. We put them in the freezer for about 30 minutes and then let them sit out on the counter for an hour. And they made a total of 44 8 gram on average, 8 gram each, and they're yummy. Next time I would probably use the confectioner's sized sweetener, which I was out of today, but instead of the granulated, just because it's easier to dissolve. And so that's it. So put those in a Ziploc or in a hard container in your backpack. Keep it on the inside so the sun doesn't get to it, because these will definitely melt if they get hot. But unlike using coconut oil, the cacao butter has a higher melting point, and so these will stay a lot more stable than if you were making these for home use only and using coconut oil. Okay, on to the nutritional info. Nutritional information, we're over at Cronometer.com, CRONOMETER.com, and this is a resource that you can use. It's free. You can create an account, log into your account, and go to the Foods tab where you can create a custom recipe, just like I have here for the 9th installment on the Keto Trail playlist series, where we're doing today the Cacao Fat Bomb. And we're looking at the American 2016 nutritional label. This is a simple recipe, 3 ingredients, not counting the sprinkle of Himalayan pink salt, cacao butter, monk fruit and cacao powder. It's effectively 100% fat product, so definitely support your keto lifestyle if that's what you're doing. One of the things I want to note is to make sure to use the powdered version of monk fruit. In the video I just did, I was out of the powdered version and I used the granular version, and I had some of the fat bombs had some settling before they cooled, and that's eliminated if you go with the powdered sweetener version. And I'm going to put affiliate links in the video description, and so you can go there and I'll put a link to the exact powdered monk fruit product that I normally use, along with other links to the cacao butter and the cacao powder, and you can go and get the exact products if you want that I use. So diving into the nutritional information, you can use Chronometer and make these servings anything you want. In my case, because of the molds I use, they yielded an average 8 gram per fat bomb serving, and so that works out to be 43 3/4 servings. If you were looking at the total servings, so in other words, if you ate this entire recipe at once, it would have 2,200 calories in it. But that's not really typically how you eat these. You'd have a couple and move on down the road. So we're going to stick with the size fat bomb that I made. If you're using ice cube trays or a different size mold that yields a different weight fat bomb, then your servings will vary, and you should change those when you're calculating your nutritional information. But in any case, there's 50 total calories per fat bomb. Let's pop up the calculator and take a look. And really this is 100% from a glycemic index and metabolism point of view. It's nearly 100% fat. But if we just take the 5.2 grams of fat times 9 calories per gram, we find out that there's about 47 calories out of 50 if the balance was really sugar, and it's not. But let's just divide by 50.3 and see what that would be. So at minimum, this comes out to be 93% fat. So what do I mean by that? Well, a couple things. The protein is insignificant, 0.2 grams, so it's effectively zero. And you would normally take out the dietary fiber anyway because your body doesn't metabolize that. Your gut bugs may use it as a prebiotic, but your body doesn't use dietary fiber. And then this remaining net carbohydrate would normally be 2.3, and it would normally be some kind of a starch or other complex carbohydrate. But in this case, those are 100% sugar alcohols, and your body just doesn't metabolize them as really a carbohydrate. So effectively, this is a 100% fat recipe. So you shouldn't even worry about it. The only thing you should worry about with monk fruit sweetener or any erythritol or other artificial sweetener is to make sure that you make these recipes ahead of time at home, and not only use them, to augment your daily keto lifestyle, but take them, on your shorter excursions in the front country, and use them, and make sure that you don't have any digestive discomfort from these. Because if you do, and some people do, you're definitely not going to want to take it into the backcountry, and especially where you're exerting a lot of energy, because your body's going to downregulate energy it's putting toward digestion when you're exerting a lot of calories, because it's going to upregulate those other metabolic functions to allow you to perform those high calorie feats of climbing mountains and fording streams and rafting, or whatever it is that you're doing in the backcountry. So make sure to make these things at home, and make sure you're comfortable with them. So again, I'll put links in the description, and we thank you again for joining. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. If you want to get notifications, make sure to click the bell and activate that so that when you log into YouTube, you'll be notified of new content that we post here on the FrostySith channel. And if you have questions or comments, please leave those below in the comment section, and I'll get back to those and address them. So Thanks for joining. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next Thursday when new content is put up on the FrostySith channel. Thanks. See ya.